Hello, Professor. The first thing you're going to want to do is go to our company website, web.stratexsimulations.com. Click on Sign In. Select an instructor or a teaching assistant. Input your username and password that was given to you. Click Submit. Go to Courses and Quotations. Click on Create a new course, get a quotation. Enter the course name of your liking. You have the option of putting a course description. Select the university where the course will take place. If you're a professor that teaches in multiple universities, make sure to select the correct university. Select the simulation, in our case, Digital Markstrat. What course type? Is it a full-time program, a corporate program, or a part-time and executive program? In our case, it will be a full-time program. How many participants do you wish to have in your course? Let's go with 30. When do you want to start your course? Let's go with today. I suggest putting the date you're creating your course. 2, when do you want your course to end? Let's go with the 19th, but let's take note that if you have any homework assignments or projects you want your participants to partake in, they won't have access to this simulation after the end date. So if you want to give them more time, give them extra days. So I would go with the 26th. Your professor name and your instructor's email will automatically appear here. Who will be purchasing the licenses? Is it the participants? Is it the university? Do you already have your packs? For this one, I will go with test course for the example. Next, you click on Create Course. You are about to create a new Digital Markstrat course. Do you wish to continue? Click on Yes. And once you click on Yes, you will get a message that says your course will be activated within the next 48 hours. We actually activate the courses quite quickly within a few hours. We put 48 hours just in case, for example, if you create your course on a Friday night, we won't activate your course before Monday. Once you've done that, you can go in your course list and select your course. Now you're in your course. So the first thing you want to do is create your industries. So when you create your industries, this is what you see. Industry team creation. What type of competition do you want? Team against team? Team against computer? Up to you. Most professors go with team against team. It's more competitive, because this is the traditional way of running Markstrat. Here, teams are grouped in industries of 4 to 6 firms, where each firm is managed by a group of participants. All teams from the same industry or are in direct competition. The decisions of one team have a direct impact on the results of the other teams. While in team against computer, each team is assigned to an industry of 4 firms, where one firm is managed by a group of participants and the other 3 are managed automatically by the computer. Which language do you want to use this course? We have English, Spanish, Portuguese, French, and Chinese. For this one, I'll go with English. Which scenario do you want? The default scenario is this one. You can read more on these scenarios by going to the instructor's guide and finding more out about the other scenarios. For this one, the default one is 2 markets, 4 to 6 teams in a team against team competition mode, and different but balanced initial team situations. How many participants will take your course? Let's go with 30. Choose the number of industries and teams. Do you want one industry or two industries? Do you want one industry with 6 teams? Do you want one industry with 5 teams? Do you want 2 industries with 5 teams, meaning 10 teams in total? You pick how many industries and teams you want. Let's go with this first one. Here you select a theme for the names of your industries. You can select any theme you want: animals, flowers, Greek gods, and so on. Once you're satisfied, you go to create. You make sure that everything looks good, and you create industries. So your industries are being created. Here it says some of your industries are still being created. Please close this window and come back. The more industries and teams you have, the longer the industry creation will take. But it shouldn't take longer than a minute or two. The next thing you want to do is go to download pre-filled participant registration file. Here you will get an Excel sheet. Click on Enable Editing. Fill out the sheet with the student paths here, the first names here, the last names here, the emails of the students here, what industry if you have multiple industries. If you just have one industry, you input 1 everywhere. Or if you have 2, you put 1 or 2 depending on which industries the participants are in, and make sure that it's always numbers. And firm, which is teams, what team is this participant in? And this is numbers as well. So it's 1 to 6 or more, however many teams you have. So you can have this participant is in industry 1, team 4. This participant is in industry 2, team 5. This one is in industry 1, team 3, and so forth. But it's always numbers. Next, click Save here. Save the file to your computer. Once you've saved the file to your computer, you can go here and upload and process participant registration file. You choose the file that you've saved. Then you upload and process the participant registration file. And you wait a few seconds, and then you will get an Excel sheet with results to see if the participants are correctly registered in the course. Once they're correctly registered in the course, here no participants will turn into 30 in our case, or how many participants you've registered in your course. Here you have the basic info, course ID, course name. If you want to add any additional instructors, their names will be here. And once the participants are registered, like I said, they will appear here. The number of participants will appear here. Here you have edit course. This is where you can edit your profile. Here you have add instructor. Like I said, if you want to add an instructor to your course, you click on add instructor. You input the instructor's username. You click on search. Once you find the instructor, you click on submit, and the instructor's name will appear right here. And you can have as many additional instructors as you wish. Email to participants is once you've registered the participants in your course with the email, with the Excel file that I showed you. You can email to participants, and we have templates that we've created, but you can create your own. For example, once the students are fully registered, you can come here. And this email is a template that we've created. If simply click on send here. The participants will receive all the necessary information for them to be able to connect to the simulation. You can also edit this text as you wish. Export participant list is an Excel file with all the participants' information, their packs, their names, their teams, their passwords. Here at the bottom, you have the industries, teams, and passwords for you as an instructor, just for your knowledge. Once the students are registered in the course, the next thing you can do is go to Decision Round Dashboard. Here is where you can start decisions. So you can have, in this case, we have one industry, but if you have multiple industries, they will be displayed here. So industry albatross, then you'll have another one here, however many industries you have. In this case, we have one industry with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams. So unless you click on Start Decision, your students cannot play the simulation. So that's very important. Once you clicked on Start Decision, you can stop decision because for some reason you don't want the students to be able to make decisions. You can audit decision, and this is quite interesting. You go to audit decision, and here you see the percentage of errors made. You see the numbers of errors. You see the number of warnings. Decision maker, in case you want to switch one team to a computer mode. You can grant loans to the teams. You can grant budget, increase or decrease. You can give an exceptional profit or cost. Next, after you start decision, once you have run a decision, once the students have made their decisions, you will have a button here that says Run Decision, which will allow them to move on to round 2. Once they're done with round 2, you will have to click again on Start Decision. They will move to round 3. So the process is clicking on Start Decision, then Run Decision, then Start Decision again, because once you've run round 1, they will not be able to start round 2 unless you click again on Start Decision for round 2. You also have a button called Cancel Run that will appear here. And Cancel Run is in case some students have made some errors in the previous periods and you want to allow them to go back. You can cancel run. For example, they are in period 5. They have made a mistake when you ran period 4. They want to go back to period 4 and correct that mistake. You can cancel run, and you can cancel up to 2 runs. So if you're in period 5, you can go back to period 4. You can go back to period 3, but you cannot go back to period 2. If you're in period 7, you can go back to period 6. You can go back to period 5, but you cannot go back to period 4. So we allow up to 2 runs, 2 pass runs to cancel. Cancel all runs. This will cancel all your runs and you will start back at period 0. Once you've stopped decision, you can continue decision, of course. Next, here we have the coaching sheet. So the coaching sheet here, it's a spreadsheet that summarizes key performance indicators at the firm level and brand level for each team in the industry. So right now, it's period 0, but once they've moved on to period 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you'll see the coaching sheet for each period as the teams progress. Print. This is a team report containing the financial results, the market and competitive news, and the market studies purchased by the team. You have the plot and compare data tool, which is designed to help instructors compare data across teams within one industry, as well as across 2 or more Markstrat industries. Announce Results is a facility to announce the latest results to teams. It plots a predefined series of graphs and charts aimed at disclosing the most important facts and results of the selected industry. Grading teams is a built-in tool to grade teams at the end of the course based on their performance in the simulation. So here we have by default 100 as SPI, but as long as the sum of all ways is up to 100, it has to add up to 100, you can distribute the sums to whichever one you want. For example, you can put 80 here for revenue and 20 for SPI. Or EBT, you can put 10. It's up to you as you wish. Configure the grading formula is up to you as well. We also have a description and units of how the key performance indicators are graded. So the SPI, for example, we describe as share price index for the selected period, and it's 100 in 1,000 in period 0 units. For revenue, it's million. For EBT, it's millions as well, ratio. So we have a description in case you don't know what we're referring to. Once you've done that, you simply click on Calculate, and it will grade each team. We have the monitor participants, and this is for you to keep track of your participants' usage. So the information that is currently available is first name, last name, team, industry, menu, page, and date. And this just allows you to quickly refer to your students' engagement within the simulation. So you can see how much time was spent on what page by each participant. We have the scheduler, which in case you don't want to click on start, stop, run, start, run, stop, you can schedule it yourself by creating a schedule. And here you can name the schedule and decide when you want to start, this round, what date, at what time, and it will automatically run the decisions for you and move on to the next period. You can also decide to manually run a certain period for some reason. Once you've done that, you can click on create, and your schedule will be created for that course. So now that you've seen the instructor side, as an instructor, you can click on any teams here and enter as if you were the student. You see everything that the team is seeing on their simulation. You can even make decisions. So let's, for example, go to Team M. Let's, for example, enter Team M. So now you're in the simulation, like I said, as if you were a participant in Team M. So here we have a prepare, which is a small video showing you how Digital Markstrat works, and an introduction. And by the way, what you see here on the left-hand side, company results, is the same things you see here. Market competitive news, same thing. So here and here, everything is exactly the same. So the company results, company dashboard, financial report, production report, R&D report, past decisions, and feedback from your coach. So you will find below a feedback message that has been generated by the simulation based on your firm's situations. And the feedback messages are a nice complement to your own analysis, but certainly not a substitute. Make sure to spend a good part of your decision time to review your reports and your market studies. After company results, you have market and competitive news. Industry dashboard, industry information, and market report. Then you have your market research. Industry benchmark, consumer survey and panel, distribution panel, semantic scales, multidimensional scaling, competitive intelligence, and experiments. Next, you have tools, charts, as you progress throughout the years, you will have period 1, 2, 3, up to 1 year in period 10. And you have either in units or millions. You have regression-based channel charts. You have regression-based tools, semantic. Here, what do you want to do? Do you want to modify a brand, create a new brand, check where a modified brand is likely to be positioned on the brand maps, or check where a new brand is likely to be positioned on the brand maps? Here you have growth share matrix. So once you have done tools, you will have decide. So you can start making your decisions. So you have team identity, where you pick a team name. You have research, development, where your R&D decisions are currently empty, but you can make R&D decisions by selecting in the list below the operation that you want to initiate. Develop R&D projects to launch new brands or modify existing ones. Developing a new project will take at least one period. You have brand portfolio. You may either modify or withdraw an existing brand or launch a new one. Please note that you may either choose a new R&D projects or existing ones for a brand launch or modification as long as they are fully developed. And an R&D project may be used multiple times in a portfolio. You have marketing mix decision. So enter your production plan in units for most, so then you do the same thing for move. Specify the recommended retail price at which you wish to sell brand most, and then same for brand move. Advertising, enter below your advertising media and research budget for brand move. The advertising budget of brand move in period 0 was 2,500, so now you modify to what budget you want move to be in this period. Indicate also how you want to allocate these budgets across consumer segments: explorers, shoppers, professionals, high earners, or savers. Commercial team, enter in the table below the number of full-time equivalent commercial people that you want to allocate to each product in each channel. Marketing research studies, indicate below which market studies you want to purchase by checking the appropriate boxes. General studies apply to all markets, while market-specific ones apply only to brands in this market. Marketing plan, segment size estimate, market share estimates. So here you just have to enter your best market share estimate for next period for each of your marketed brands in each consumer segment. And beware, if you use the copy paste error data button, the market share of new brands will be set to 0. So for segment size estimates, market share estimates, market sales estimates, brand contribution, company profit and loss statements. And lastly, decision review. So this report provides a review of decisions made by your team at the beginning of period 1. Resource allocation overview, brand portfolio, marketing mix, segmentation strategy, perceptual objectives, commercial team size, market research studies, persona market. So once you've done all this and you're satisfied with your results, you simply need to wait for your professor to run to the next period, and you'll be able to start making decisions for round 2 once round 1 has been run. So here you have your sonnets and vaudits. Because you're a professor, you can access any teams, but obviously the other teams do not have access to other teams. They only have access to their own team. Here you have your budget. Here you can see if you have any errors or warnings, so you can rectify them before the professor runs the decisions. Only one team member at a time is allowed to be on a decision page and make decision decisions. So if you're on a decision page and you're trying to make decisions and you're blocked, simply come here to team info, and it will show you which of your team members are on what decision page, and you'll have an option to take over so that you can start making decisions. Here you have the participant handbook, online help, print and export Excel. Frequently asked questions is here. And lastly, if you are finished with your simulation and you want to leave and log out, please do not click here to log out and close the simulation, but please do it correctly and click here on log out. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact our support, which is help@stratix.com.